in the cafeteria, and after school I worked as a secretary for the priests. And that's how I earned my tuition to go to school all 4 years. So I didn't really mess around because I was too busy earning my tuition to stay in school. Because being a truck driver's daughter, I went to a different school as a elementary school. I went to a different school almost every year. I think the longest I went to any school was maybe a year and a half because we moved around so much. So one of the things of going to Central at that time was no matter where you lived in the city, you could go to that school. It wasn't city organized, to a neighborhood. So it was kind of important to me to be able to go to the same school for 4 years. So I've always had the work ethic, and I think if you're scared because you think it's too much to do or too hard to do, you don't know how to do it. We have people that sit in my audience for 10 years and they don't own a house yet. You don't have to know anything. You can learn in the field. Matter of fact, the things I worried about, the vacancies, the liquidity, the repairs, they never happened because I was always conscious of them, so I always took care of business when it's always on your mind. So you don't really have to know anything. You only have to know what you need to know when it happens. I guess a good likeness of it is I have a huge pole barn, 40 by 60 it's got to be, a couple of garages filled with all kinds of stuff to do with my properties. But you know what? By the time you want 90 or need 99% of that stuff, it's either, especially nowadays, it's out of date, it's changed, or, they don't even use it anymore. So it's only important that you get enough knowledge and enough people around you that are doing the same thing to just get started. You don't know what you need, you actually get out there and do it.
How important has your work ethic, how important has that been to your success?
Well, since I don't know any other way and you're calling me a success, I would say it probably has a lot to do with it because I never relied on somebody else other than maybe to get the information. Matter of fact, one of my first vice presidents would look at me and he said, Anna, you know how to do everything but write a check. You learn to write a goddamn check. Whenever he would catch me up on a roof or in a crawl space, he was saying it's time to move to management and not do it all yourself. You don't really have to do it all yourself, but it sure helps to know about the job if you're going to hire it out, because nobody's going to pull the wool over your eyes either.
Absolutely. Let me ask you, what would be a common question that people ask you about what you do, for a living? What would be a common question? The
most common question I get is it too late? Are all the good deals gone? And that was before we even had a buyer's market. We probably only have a buyer's market once every 30 years. But this one in Toledo now has lasted, it's got to be close to 2 years now. I mean, it's been phenomenal. But, I guess the best likeness I can tell them is I say, I've been doing this for 38 years and I hardly ever bump into these 125 people I speak to every month. And it's different people. There's an extra 30 people added every month. I said, I don't hardly run into them. I said, unless you go to an auction, you probably never will. Does that give you a good ratio of what all's out there? Because everybody's got their own little niche of where they want to invest and how they want to invest and how they want to do things and how it fits into their life. So I don't think there's any such thing as a non-replenishing quantity of houses out there.
Excellent. What are, let me ask you, are there any current business projects you're working on that you're excited about?
Well, I just picked up a duplex for $500, and it's barely a block away from a hospital that just now announced they're doing 3 huge glass wings on it. So I'm thinking I'm going to be right there for all the interns and nurses and everything they need. And we got that through Donate a House, one of the things we created at Toledo was we hooked up with the Northwest Ohio Food Bank, which does all the 800 food pantries in Ohio and Michigan. And when we get a house donated, we either do a training program on it and teach our members how to do tile floors or drop ceilings or knock down plaster, or we do a silent auction where you just put your name on the list and start selling them until they, whatever the final price is, which is usually $1,000 or $2,000. And in the meantime, we've donated over $100,000 to the Northwest Ohio Food Bank and turned a lot of properties and turned a lot of investors into their first properties.
Excellent.
So I'm really excited about that, and I'm also really excited that they've asked me to run, and they reelected me as national president for this year. So 2016, I will be National Real Estate Investors President again.
Wow. So the National RIA Group?
Yes.
And is that, tell me something, is that different from the Toledo RIA?
Educating the actual investors, and with National 100 Real Estate Investor Association, that you are teaching and working with, you're teaching their leaders, their board members, so that they've got content to take back, whether it be programming, whether it be legal, whether it be legislative, whether it be bringing into the 21st century all the new internet stuff. We have tech programs. We have 3 different events a year. Our national conference is on a cruise ship every February. We're just getting ready to do, I'll be on that. That's our, I think it's 17th or 18th cruise year. Have mid-year groups and have different sessions for 3 or 4 days. And then they have the tech conference in the fall, which is also chapter training. Chapter is right now is the highest thing that you can become. Nations can join, but chapter is the highest degree at this point. You have to, there's 7 awards of excellence, and you strive to, one's communication, one's community service, one's government programming. So you try to win. There's small, medium, and large groups, and Toledo has won the complete all 7 several times. Matter of fact, we just won extra $2,500 for being the top one again. So
wow.
We always did several awards and gotten all 7 and made the top award.
Gotcha. Well, to wrap this up, if somebody would, a prospective client of yours, somebody's thinking about doing business with you, actually came across this interview or this, what are 1 or 2 things you'd want them to know?
That they should be feel free to ask. If they have any real estate questions, it's not any good until you ask it. And you might get 20, but that's okay. You can use a fourth of that answer, and you can fit it into how you need to do business at that time.
Okay, you broke up on that last half. You said, if you can repeat that because you broke up, it was too good.
I guess would be where it doesn't matter if you get 10 different answers to your questions, because you can use half of one person's answer and part of another person's answer into your life and where you are right now and how you want to do real estate.
Gotcha. Last question is, how important do you think the local RIA group is to somebody that is just starting out investing in real estate? How important is it for them to become a member and be involved in their local RIA group?
I think it is all important to join your local RIA group. You know how they say if you want to be a fireman, you're best to go hang around with investors. And on top of that, they also provide not only the, they fall in all the pitfalls so you don't have to. They hit all the, and you can just listen and learn how to avoid them. They have the education, and they also have the team. We now have everybody from Home Depot to CPAs to electricians to carpet layers, where any part of the real estate investing that you don't want to do, you can form it. You can concentrate on the parts you're best at, and let them take over the parts that just need to be done and are taking up your time. So it's the education, it's the teamwork, and it's